next we wanted to just kind of go into hearing some reactions from our state lawmakers. We have a few questions. We can stick to these. You can add in other questions or things along those lines that you have from us. But really, I'd like to hear kind of what was your reaction when you heard about this? What additional questions do you have for us? And what steps can you help us with between now and Monday's hearing? As well as how can we collectively work together after Monday?
I'm Ken Kelash. I'm the current chair of the NRP Policy Board. For over 10 years, I served as a labor representative on the NRP Policy Board, so I've watched it grow and change for the last, I don't know how many years I've been on it, about in the 90s anyway. So one of the things that having the city go after NRP funds is not new. It's been done by past mayors, it's been done by past city councils, and some of that has been reached. This is the first time that I can recall that we've ever been ambushed, and that's what this is an ambush. This is not something, in the last year, we've passed in the policy board cooperation agreements to work with the NCR. They have not delivered on any of their promises, or very little of what they promised to do. The other thing is that the NRP currently has 6 staff members handling, I believe it's about $7.5 million worth of contracts a year. The NCR has 12 people listed as working for them. Now, there's a huge amount of inefficiency going on in that, and when you look at trying to take money out of the neighborhoods to support a duplicate program, it makes no sense. The neighborhoods have consistently delivered participation to the city anytime there's a meeting that the city wants to have and have participation at. When the Neighborhoods Association and the NRP puts it together, we have a great turnout. Too many of the city's neighborhood outreach show that there's more staff than there's people there. So that's a couple of things. The other thing is that the policy board is a joint powers agreement, and that means that the money, when the TIF district was set up in the first place, and the legislature said it had to be spent through neighborhood action plans, and if the city chose to do this, that meant that the city, county, the library board, the school board, and the park board were giving up those funds to do neighborhood revitalization. It did not mean that it was city money. That continued to go in the coffers of the city. So we're going to be looking at the legality of trying to say we're going to freeze this money. The city is the fiscal agent. That means that they just write the checks that are approved by the policy board, the programs that are done by the policy board of the neighborhood associations. And yes, the city also has the ability to send those plans back to us, but I don't believe they have the authority to take the money away. So that's a couple of things that we're looking at. The other thing is that what the city, I think that's been missed in this, is that the neighborhoods have leveraged over $1 billion with the funds so far in economic development and outside sources on top of it. It's something the city would have an incredibly tough time to do. So it's been a good program for the city currently, and it still works in that way. So we're bringing economic development. The other thing is that a lot of neighborhoods have used some of their sources to pay for police, for more security, for a lot of things that the city wants. So it's not like this has been confrontational until, I think, at this time. This is where it's really, this is really no longer trying to cooperate. This is about, taking a stab at NRP and saying that it doesn't deserve to exist anymore because they supposedly have come up with something better, which, if you look at the track record, they've come up with nothing that I can tell. Right. We've always been asked to come to the policy boards as we work through the merging process and we talk about it. The thing is that when I became chair in February, I invited him to come to every meeting. He has not. What I have also done is I said, we're going to cooperate with this, and as you get ready with the program, we're ready to turn over when we see that you're capable of handling. They have no capacity to deal with neighborhood action plans at this point. They have no capacity to deal with all the contracts that the NRP is currently working on. So we're talking about taking a competent organization with a track record, shutting it down and turning this over to the city that has absolutely no track record and is incredibly more top-heavy in management than anything that we've had. And, you know, that's just a waste of taxpayers' money. So I wanted to get that on the table first. And we have a policy board meeting a week from Monday. And we're going to be discussing all of this, our reaction to it. But, you know, literally the city council and this budget proposal was an ambush. It was not, what do you think about doing this? It was not, what can we do about this? We need to have some cooperation with funding to help get through this crisis. Nothing. No dialogue, nothing. So this is not open communications between the two organizations that were agreed by the city council and by the NRP policy board to work together. So I wanted to get that on the table for everybody.
Who else can we get your reaction when you heard it?